ne plus ultra, no further. Veritas audit moras. Truth hates delay, and so does the Light Kingdom Party, Mr. Cardusius, the Royal Lord of the Divine Light, and you, the people. We heard lies, we heard plenty of those. We saw submission, which only reflects dependency. And we saw also a president, again, just in the last 24 hours, slashing out against the intelligence agency. Mr. Brennan, Mr. Clapper, Mr. Comey, all of them are a consistent target. So is Robert Mueller and his investigations that he sees most unfitting, as from his statements, there is no collusion. The intelligence community has confirmed that in fact there was collusion, and Robert Mueller in fact has indicted Russian individuals from the GRU that are led by Mr. Putin himself. Most importantly, we have witnessed in Helsinki that for the first time Mr. Putin himself confirmed, yes, I was for Trump, yes, I supported him, which in combination of viewing the GRU indictments objectively very clearly also reflects that he was actively involved, engaged, that Mr. Trump wins. Mr. Trump is afraid that such material fact, of course, questions his presidency, the legitimate state of his presidency, and with right, because from our point of view, such presidency has not been gained on a legal foundation. Somebody converting public opinion and votes through lies, through influencing, in particular, what we've learned also by the recent indictments, the electoral process cannot be considered as a legitimate process of a democratic nation. How can the president himself not doubt that this entire election in 2016 brought to the surface a result that is in any dimension of legitimate and honest nature? It is not. And therefore, we, the people, reject its result. We do not see Donald Trump as our president. The true power lies with the American Senate. In 1974, the United States versus Nixon ordered Mr. Nixon, Richard Nixon, to provide the White House tapes. And he did so. He was ordered and forced to do so based on the Ethics in Government Act. The Ethics in Government Act, Senate, and also the Justice Department, we need to consider right now for Mr. Trump, the Trump organization, the Trump family, the Kushner family, to provide all tax returns to the American Senate. We believe that the recent developments in Helsinki, which we warned, we said that Mr. Trump, during the time of the investigations of Robert Mueller, such visit should not be supported by the American Senate, and in fact opposed and restricted. And Mr. Trump should have not been entitled to visit Russia. But he did anyhow. And the result, of course, we do not really know, because everything happened, again, behind closed doors. Considering already the affairs of the recent election and how the recent elections have been dealt with on a foundation of influence from Russia and the Russian intelligence community, we have to consider that such visit represents a most serious threat, not only for the United States, but also for all investigating individuals. Russia eliminates its enemies, and for us to be so close to Russia raises our concern in matters of safety and security of all investigating personnel. Let us just look into the United Kingdom, what in the matters of poisoning just recently happened. A most concerning development, but it is the way how Russia deals with problems and issues. And we are inviting now, after the election catastrophe, such techniques, procedural intelligence procedures into our country, that people get eliminated, that are against the opinion of the few that wish to control the public opinion after all. Therefore, we need to be utmost concerned about such meeting, and we have to finally find clearance what is the connection, and follow the money always works. Therefore, what was good enough for Richard Nixon and the Senate that showed at that point of time a little bit more courage as we see currently, we insist as the future Light Kingdom Party, Mr. Caduceus, that the Ethics in Government Act is immediately set in place, and such tax returns are requested and required by the American Senate. Additionally, we order the Senate and ask the Senate very firmly to restrict the powers of the President. Honorable President Donald Trump, whatever you handle in privacy is your personal privilege to do so. But if you publicly insult individuals of your intelligence community, you are doing that on a public forum that does not only limit to the United States but worldwide. You are disgracing America. You're disgracing the intelligence that America has. And you are disabling their work, because no one will work with individuals that can't be trusted and that are sooner or later subject to a slander campaign that you have, since you have taken office, engaged in, because you knew and should have known that those elections have been successfully concluded on a fraudulent foundation. And we allege that, and we are very firm behind that, regardless what our punishment for such statement may be. Because it is the truth, and you know it, Mr. President, that it is. And the truth will set you free at some point when you acknowledge that there is something such as truth. With over 3,000 lies on the record, it is very difficult to believe that in fact you know what is truth and what is not. Additionally, we need to appeal to your statements in matters of you are a genius, you are a stable genius. But at the same time, you make statements in Helsinki and you make statements in matters of a university racketeering scandal that question such intelligence. Of course, later on, you adjust your words and your statements. But in truth, the first time when you as a genius announce them are for us, as the people, the true foundation of how we evaluate your statements. And very honestly, your conduct has not only insulted the United States of America, which we love, which we are ready to die for, Honorable President, and many others from around the world. And as we saw, Michael Avenatti marching in the streets with all the individuals that stand against you and being there in the White House because they acknowledge that it is not a legitimate presidency. When we look at all these things, it is time for you to maybe resign. If not, Ethics in Government Act. It is essential that the American Senate finally takes action. And such tax returns, corporate and individual, and even charitable organization, shall reveal what is the true connection between Russia and President Trump. The Light Kingdom Party very firmly stands behind their position that, in fact, we will find many shell companies, subjects of money laundering, that realize a direct link to such individuals. And therefore, dependency is never good in any sort of negotiations, because you are placed in a position of submission, and nothing else we witnessed in Helsinki. And for you, Royal Noble Honorable brothers and sisters, follow the light. Put your energies, your contributions, your heart into the founding stages of the Light Kingdom Party. Let us spread light worldwide. Be part of the greatest movement this world has ever seen. Let us make a difference. They will not make it. We, the people, will need to make it. It will be our powers, our words, our energies, our sincerity, our justice, our hearts that will unite the world. And we need a united world.